Good Monday morning, everybody. Welcome back to the North Central Weather Center. Across the North Central United States, we are going to be talking about thunderstorm chances increasing throughout the week with severe weather and heavy rain, and the heat will be building across especially our southern regions as we go through this week. We'll go with how hot temperatures will get in today's video. Right now, you're looking at the visible satellite imagery. We have a complex of storms moving south and eastbound through the mid-Missouri Valley. This is putting down some heavy rainfall as well as some locally damaging winds and hail as it propagates further off to the south and east. And as we go through today, there's a slight risk of severe weather across the Kansas City metro area, getting down just north and east of the Springfield, Missouri region. We also have a marginal risk from St. Louis all the way east to Cincinnati and Columbus, Ohio, as well through today. This is with that complex of showers and storms as it moves to the east and into the southeasternmost regions. And then we have a marginal risk further to the north from Minneapolis over here towards Green Bay across northern Wisconsin. A couple isolated strong thunderstorms will be possible later on this afternoon across portions of these areas. And looking here at this morning, that complex is moving through strong across the northwestern areas of Missouri. This will continue to propagate to the south and east and kind of fizzle out as it does through that slight risk area into the afternoon. And we're just going to be seeing lots of dry time this afternoon across portions of the north central states. If a shower or storm decides to develop from the Twin Cities east to Green Bay, a stronger thunderstorm will be possible with hail, gusty winds up to 50 or 60 miles per hour, and possibly some very heavy rainfall this afternoon as well. And looking at the high temperatures, the northeastern periphery of that ridge will continue to build to the north and east. So into the Dakotas, Nebraska, we're going to be into the middle and upper 90s. So into the triple digits we go here into portions of Kansas, 100 degrees in Dodge City, 102 up here into Topeka. So it's going to be very, very hot this afternoon. Make sure to stay hydrated down in these areas, but our easternmost regions across Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, and to Kentucky here, we're going to be seeing more of the middle to upper 80s once again today. As the ridge axis has not reached you yet, you'll still see those typical summertime highs. Still hot, but not as hot as further off to the west. Then as we go into tomorrow, that ridge axis starts to build in across the lower Ohio Valley and at least the lower Midwestern regions here. You can see the red outlined area getting closer to Chicago, Indianapolis, and Cincinnati here, as well as the Twin Cities. That's that 90 plus degree line on Tuesday. And then you see that start to build even further to the north on Wednesday. And you see a little bit of a divot here across the Midwest. Yeah, that's a short wave moving through the Midwest on Wednesday. That could cause some caveats with the heat and have more severe weather and heavy rain there as we go into the middle of the week. So looking here at Tuesday, the heat will build across the Midwest. We're into the 90s almost everywhere here, except for the lakefront from Green Bay to Milwaukee to Chicago. Maybe just a tad cooler because of the lake waters there. We could be seeing temperatures held down into the upper 80s. Otherwise, inland, it's all about the 90s and even the triple digits again here into Kansas, 103 in Dodge City, 102 in Topeka, and 100 there into Wichita. We're closing in on 100 degrees there into Lincoln, Nebraska, and into Kansas City as we go into Tuesday. And then by the time we get to Wednesday, yeah, the triple digit heat builds all the way up there toward the international border. We're up to 100 degrees there into portions of South Dakota and near the Twin Cities, into Minnesota there on Wednesday. So it will be very hot, and even St. Louis getting closer toward 100 degrees as we go into Wednesday. So make sure to stay hydrated, folks. And if you work outside, be sure to find shade or go into an air conditioned room, especially if you have break time for work, because it is very hot out there. And looking at the midweek time frame, we're watching a couple short waves revolving around the northern periphery of that ridge. This time of year, it's summer. You have a lot of instability building across our southernmost areas and across portions of the southeasternmost regions here of our viewing area. So up to the north, we have a slight risk on Tuesday, tomorrow, from Aberdeen down toward the Sioux Falls region. We're keeping an eye on the threat for damaging winds and hail here. The tornado threat is basically zero, but it's still, very low. It's under 2% as we go into Tuesday. So damaging winds and hail will be the main mode here on Tuesday. That will shift to the east-southeast on Wednesday across the southern Great Lakes region and into the Ohio Valley. This will encompass areas like Iowa City, Rockford, Illinois, down to Springfield, Indianapolis, Chicago, over here toward Toledo as well as we go into Wednesday. So that's a slight risk for severe weather. Again, damaging winds, hail, and a couple tornadoes will be possible, but the main mode will be damaging winds and hail on Wednesday. So let's time this out here with the highest coverage of storms. On Tuesday afternoon, we have more of a scattered coverage up here across the Dakotas, perhaps as far south as northern Nebraska, northwestern portions there of Minnesota. Damaging winds and hail will be the main mode. However, an isolated brief tornado will be possible Tuesday afternoon across this region. Otherwise, the wind shear is basically unfavorable for some tornadoes as we go up here. So that's why the main mode will be damaging winds and hail. Then as we go into Wednesday morning, some remnants of that will be pushing across the Illinois Valley into the western Ohio Valley, possibly still lingering on with some isolated wind damage and hail across this region. Not a severe weather outbreak by any means, but something to keep an eye on. I think heavy rain will be the number one threat from these storms Wednesday morning. Redevelopment, though, or reintensification of the storms are possible as it pushes across the Illinois Valley into the Ohio Valley and into southern portions of lower Michigan. We'll have to watch out for a complex of storms that tries to develop here, or what we call an MCS Wednesday afternoon. That could provide the threat for more numerous wind damage and hail as we go through the Ohio Valley then. So that will be something to keep an eye on. And then we're looking back upstream Wednesday afternoon and evening for another complex that tries to get going across portions of the Dakotas. Whether or not this occurs remains to be seen, but that is something we'll watch up here towards portions of the Fargo region as we go in toward Wednesday night. Overall, though, later this week, the ridge is still there. It starts to flatten across the northern areas. So up here into the North Dakota, northern Minnesota, and the upper Great Lakes region, we have more of a zonal jet stream later this week. So temperatures will be a little bit cooler there late this week. So on Thursday, we're well into the triple digits across our southern areas, Nebraska, Kansas, and Missouri, maybe into southern Iowa as well. So it's going to be steamy there. Des Moines, Iowa pushing up to 99. Could we get to 100? Definitely a possibility there. 98 in the Twin Cities. Could we get to 100? Still a possibility there as well in that metropolitan area. And then as we go into Friday, yeah, it's much of the same with more triple digits there from St. Louis back toward Kansas City, Wichita, and down here in toward the Ozarks region as we go into Friday. A little cooler up to the north across the Dakotas, especially North Dakota back into the 80s, northern Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, and especially the UP of Michigan. That's with the storm complexes moving across that region with that more of the zonal jet stream on Friday and into the new weekend here. And generally looking at the next 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook from Saturday, July 29th through our new month, Wednesday, August 2nd, yeah, it looks pretty wet up here across portions of the northern states, and especially into eastern Montana, into the Dakotas here. A little bit of that slightly above average precipitation signal is down as far south as northern Kansas, the Ozarks, and then down into southern Illinois. We'll have to wait and see how much rainfall gets that far south, as the ridge will be holding tough there into early August. We'll have to wait and see how much rain gets that far south. But we'll keep you updated here on this channel. Make sure to subscribe down below if you like today's video and you want more updates here on the North Central United States. We're closing in on 200 subscribers. I appreciate that. And also very important to press the thumbs up button, as it helps to get this weather information to more and more people. Have a great Monday, everybody, and I'll see you all in the next video.